All right, welcome everyone. Today we have a build session with MedicTrek, and we're gonna have a little bit of conversation around what they're doing and what they're here for, and then we're gonna try and build a little piece of what they want into a proof of concept. First, I want to just say welcome to Halim, and I'd love to invite you to just share a little bit about what you're doing with MedicTrek and what your aim and goals are. Um, so please, would you share some of that?
Okay, Victor, thank you for the opportunities and to make time quick. So I will start to explain what is MedicTrek and why we choose Holochain. So the first, what is MedicTrek? Actually, it is an app that try to enable you to own the health profile of your own. Because in third developing countries like us, most of the medical records is held by the hospital or clinics. So each time we shift to another town or to another clinics, then we have to do the whole test again, which is costly. And what we try to do is to simplify this to keep the health record on our own, so we can just share to the new location, the new hospitals or clinics. Start probably with a simple personal health record up to medical record, electronic medical record. It also tries to simplify how you interact with doctors, clinics, labs, and pharmacy. So why we pick Holochain? The first, it actually enables peer-to-peer and offline situation, which quite common in our countries like Indonesia. Then, of course, it allows each person to govern their own data and how they want it to be shared. So it doesn't rely on a single centralized database that, probably one day it will be hacked or down or something else. So we own our own data and can share. Next is it does have a unique personal identity, provide fully traceable data changes, and eliminate data forgery. The next thing is provides kind of data reliability in the case of emergency situation, like maybe disasters, and it happens with network partitions. So that is the reasons that we pick Holochain. But we design the whole thing actually to work on mostly mobile devices. And unfortunately, that is not fully ready yet. So we have to wait for a while. That's all, guys. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Halim. That's great. All right. And is there a let's see the piece that we're gonna try to do today? Because today we only have the space to do a small piece. We're gonna try to do this within the 2-hour window and see how far we get. So can you share a little piece of UI that we can use so that we can build towards?
Okay, sure. I will try to show a piece of UI that you can look at. Moment. Okay, guys, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully it is not too small. It's a mobile screen. Actually, the unfortunately it's written in Indonesian language. So I'll try to explain explain it in English. Riwayat means history. So catatan medis is a medical record. So if you see, there are two dates here. The lower two is actually a history where the patient, this is a patient screen. So he has taken two tests on the previous day, which is allergic test on the milk and cholesterol test on the two different labs. So these two labs has been done and the detail has been recorded. For the first phase, this test is meant to cap only the image of the report. So we don't entry any particular data. Unfortunately, in Indonesia, the test lab results is still not uniform. So we have to cap the image only. So the following days, the patient is also taking another test, which is the sugar test. It is on progress. The result has not coming in. It is on the same lab that he has taken yesterday. So these two details is on patient screens. Actually, what happened is before this, he probably come to the doctor. The doctor also have the applications and send notification to the patient that he need to do the test. And the patient elect to send it to the lab that he elects to do the test. And the lab will receive a notification that he has to come to the lab at certain dates and certain time. After the schedule, after taking the test, the patient will be receiving the result online by receiving the notification that the lab result already posted. He can just took it from the app, and the patient are unable to send it back to the doctor. So it's not the lab sending it to the doctor. The patient can send it to the doctor. The doctor then later can choose to either just give the medications or just ask the patient to come in again to discuss things. So that's the flow. I think for other flows, just ask and I will explain accordingly. So thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Sorry, Victor, can I
Go, go.
already? Yeah.
Sure.
Anything that people share that it's like, "Ooh, okay, lots of things in a short amount of time, which is totally normal, but my brain needs to ask questions in order to clarify. So, Halim, could you repeat again slowly, more slowly, or I'll be asking questions. The flow of how test is done. So first, it's the doctor telling the patient, "Hey, you should take a test." Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And how is that represented in the app? There's no appointment because the appointment comes when the lab actually schedules.
Yeah, the lab actually get the notification from the patient because the
Okay.
doctor already sent it to the patient. Hey, you need to take a test. This is the test that you need to do.
Yeah.
So the patient will took the notification on what to test and choose which lab. So we have a list of lab that is already using the same apps. So we can let the patient to pick which lab probably nearest to the locations,
Yeah.
to locations, and send the notification to the lab to
Yeah.
have the test schedule.
Awesome. And then the test is scheduled, and then the test is actually performed. So nothing to do in the app, like the patient goes in the actual lab and they do the test or whatever. Okay, when the test is actually scheduled, the appointment needs to appear as an event in the app
Correct.
for the patient and the lab,
The
not
lab,
the doctor.
not the doctor.
Not the doctor, okay. And before that, when it's only the doctor telling the patient you need to take the test, it shouldn't appear in that screen. Am I right? It's not even an appointment yet. It's just, hey, you need to take this test.
Correct.
So it's like a separate section, right? It's like inbox, incoming messages or something.
Correct.
Cool. And then it's understood.
Kind of task the patient have to do.
It's kind of a task. Yeah, makes sense. Cool. And then the test is scheduled. And after when the test is actually performed, I guess there should be some kind of a handshake between the patient and the lab of yes, this was done, or just the lab. No, it's just the lab saying this was done, right?
Yeah, let's just note, give a message, put in the applications that the test has been done.
Yeah.
The image of the report is attached, either it's a PDF or an image.
Right, but it may not be at the same time. Like maybe first it's, hey, the test is done. We are waiting for the results.
Correct.
And then after that, it's like, here are the results.
Correct.
Amazing.
Then it is back to the patient. It is up
Back
to the
to the
patient
patient.
whether to look for another doctor or to the same doctor.
Oh,
Yeah. You can relax.
interesting. Okay, choose doctor. Again, but at this point in general, it's the patient and the lab who have the medical results, and the patient from this point on can basically choose to share the medical results with any doctor in the future, right?
Correct.
Like from now on, it's not only about this medical record. It's like, okay, now I have my medical record in my own device. Now I can go ahead and at any point in future share my whole medical record with another doctor, for example.
Correct. Correct. And
Cool.
if, for example, if this one is a minor or elderly, actually, this one can be handled by the one who manage it. Probably the parents or the son.
Yeah. So delegation of management of medical records. Okay, I don't think we're going to be able to do the delegation today. Just this flow is already interesting enough, rich enough, and big enough actually for us to focus on this.
Okay.
Cool, and send test. Okay, so when the patient shares the test back to the doctor, should the doctor keep a copy of that in their device or?
Yes.
Yes. Cool. And what is the flow there? Is the flow like send this test to that doctor or share my whole medical record to that doctor? What's the flow?
Or share the test only.
Share the test only. Cool. Cool. I think I'm asking the right questions, and I think you're answering in the right. It's giving me the feeling that we are in sync, and that we know we are talking about the same thing. So that's awesome. Cool. And now I'm imagining the screen of the doctor, which needs to be a bit different. That's okay. Okay, cool. Cool, awesome. So this is really clear already. Now let's think about the first flow of the app. Like when you open the app, obviously no one is a doctor or a lab. Everyone is kind of a patient, but no one is a doctor of lab or lab. So I guess at first hospital entity needs to be created. And then in that hospital entity, there needs to a doctor needs to be like a user in the app needs to be assigned some doctor role or something like this. And same in the lab case.
Yeah.
Cool. So see, we can do that.
And also don't forget that in countries like us, a doctor can also practice privately out of clinics.
Right. So it's not only hospital, it's more like, wait, what, medical organization or clinic, or how you call
It's a
this?
private practice.
Right, but for now we are going to say that hospitals and private practices are the same in this prototype.
Yeah, correct.
So what, medical organization or something like that? Not sure.
I think clinic is pretty universal.
Yeah,
A
makes
hospital
sense.
is also a clinic. Just go with clinic.
Yeah, let's
Or
go with clinic.
testing facility, because if it's about
Yeah.
tests, it could just be testing facility, but that's a little bit big.
Okay, cool. So we are going to have clinics, we are going to have labs. Doctors are going to be assigned in those clinics. Labs, lab testers are going to
Technician,
be assigned.
probably.
What's that?
Technician, maybe. A lab
The
technician.
lab
Yeah.
technician is going to be assigned in the labs, and then patients are just going to be patients. Awesome. And the medical record is just going to contain the lab
Image or
technician,
results.
the lab technician, the timestamp, the image, and the patient, obviously, because otherwise it doesn't make a lot of sense. Cool. And all of that is going to be signed and verifiable by everyone that the lab technician did that. Cool. In the future, it could be also cool that the medical record contains like a chain of provenance of all the authorities. Like right now, what we are going to do is the image of the medical record contains the signature of the lab technician. If I receive that and I'm offline, I can only attest that some random agent declared themselves as lab technician and that they signed this, right? Which is okay. Like later I can verify that agent, but it's not that useful. That's what we are going to have in this prototype. In the future, what could be cool is that no, I have actually this doctor or I don't know, this government agency certified that this lab is actual like it's an authorized provider or something, and this authorized provider authorized this lab technician, and I have the chain of verifications, and I can receive this as I'm offline. This could be really cool to have in the app. Like you've already thought about this probably. Okay,
Plus,
cool.
and the thing that you have to really think about is the GDPR things.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the case that you cannot share someone else record to the other person unauthorizedly, which Holochain actually disperse all the message out.
Yeah. Well, the way that we are going to build this, it's easier to do because we are not going to use Holochain in the way that all data is public and shared with everyone. We're going to be sharing it mostly privately. So you're going to see how we do that. Okay, cool. Now I think I know what the whole thing should be like. Just thinking it through. Okay, cool. So right now, what I'm going to say is let's focus on the flow. Let's have the doctor only be the creator of the clinic entity. So we are going to have clinic entities. The one that creates the clinic is the doctor. Let's focus on assigning doctors later. Same for the labs. The one that creates the lab is the lab technician that's going to be able to do the tests, and then we are going to focus on the actual flow with any patient that comes online. This way it simplifies everything, so we can have some working thing in an hour and a half, let's see, and play with it, which is the main focus. Okay, so
Cool.
I think I know everything that I need. I just need the ready, set, go.
Okay. And well, let's say ready, set, go. But while you're setting up the first things, let me just say that for anybody who's watching, if you want to have any conversations about this app that's being built, then you need to talk to MedicTrek, and you need to get in contact with Halim's and his partner Suganda. So there is a link to their website, and we can also share their emails so that you can get in contact. And if you're interested in what they're doing, and if you're interested in any of the kind of tech that we'll be using during this build, so any of the kind of modules or all the stuff that we're using to make this rapid prototyping, then you just contact us at Darksoil, and we can share how to work with that. Okay, cool.
Great.
Let's get going.
Cool.
Ready, set, go.
Okay, so first of all, sharing my screen, normal stuff. Cool. Now I'm going to go over to T-NESH, to Scaffold.T-NESH Hub and Scaffolding.T-NESH Hub. In my projects folder, and this should be medical records, I'm going to call it for now. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Medical records, I like PMPM, and inside medical records, cool, I'm going to, okay, we are going to need notifications for sure. Roles on link devices could come later. For now, let's have public profiles, if that's okay. Because I think otherwise it will make it a bit difficult. So right now, let's have public profiles. Let's have them private in the future. So I'm going to scaffold DNA here, scaffold DNA, which is called the main DNA. So the way I'm imagining all of this evolving is with having like a big main DNA that everyone joins, and then little ones for each clinic and each lab, for example, right? So right now we are only going to play with the main DNA in this prototype. So cool, in the main. I'm going to scaffold the profiles in this main DNA, which is going to import the profile Zome, integrity and coordinator, as well as the UI. Am I ready to continue? Yes, am I ready? Okay, so it's done. What else? And now we need to scaffold a Zome, which is medical records. Oh, actually, medical records. Yeah, because medical records is going to contain. No, medical records is private, actually. Okay, cool. So let's have it be another way, which is we are going to scaffold a zone, which is going to be the clinics zone. Clinics. Cool. Scaffold integrity, scaffold coordinator. Cool, cool, cool. So scaffold zone, and now this is going to be labs. Integrity, coordinator, cool, cool, cool. And now it's going to be, let me actually commit all of this. So scaffolding, work in progress. We don't have a Git repository, obviously. Cool. And now, oh, right. We already had this. Okay. Yep, absolutely. And now let's actually, okay, next develop. Let's scaffold the medical records. Zome medical records, scaffold medical integrity here, coordinator there. That's fine. Now we have medical records. Medical records is actually going to be the special one, but that's okay. Okay, should we do the notifications now? I don't think so. Let's wait for that. Cool. And actually the medical records, it's going to be a private event sourcing one. So we are not going to be sharing all the entries publicly in the DHT. We are going to be really selective about which agents have which events. So I'm going to be following the setup here for the private event sourcing zone. This is a new one that we have, which is really exciting actually. Okay, so this is private event sourcing. So what this module does is with it, you define all the events that can happen in your app, what's its validation, and who should receive them as private events. And then it goes ahead and figures everything out for you as per committing, synchronizing across devices, and synchronizing across recipients of the entries, everything privately and encryptedly so that no one is able to see them, which is what we want in this case, actually. Add the private event sourcing coordinator grades to medical records. So this should be private event sourcing integrity, which is with Git. Studio private event sourcing Zome branch main 04. Same with the coordinator. Yep. Okay, and now, weirdly enough, we are going to go to the medical records and nuke everything because everything is already provided by the private event sourcing integrity. Cool. And let's go to the coordinator one. Let's actually nuke everything as well. We can keep this. So let's copy paste all of this. And now instead of zone name, we change this to medical records event. Cool, and it went well, except for this one. And this is complaining because we are missing the event hash here. Okay, so, and here it should be B3 set, which is empty.
Okay, let me just admit person and make sure I don't mute.
Okay. So with this, what we are going to do is define all the events that should happen in our app privately here. And this should bring us everything we need to deal with private entries, synchronization of private entries in Holochain. Okay, cool. What else? Let me actually go ahead and medical records. Have this as a project. Now we need to scaffold the initial ones. Okay, let's scaffold the initial ones first, which is going to next develop event sourcing. So HC scaffold entry type. So an entry type is going to be a clinic. What kinds of in the clinic's integrity? What kinds of things should the clinic have? It should have a name, right? Which is a string. UI text field. Okay. What other things should a clinic have? Should have an image, maybe? Halim, what do you think?
That's fine. Address at least in the phones.
Address as in geographical address?
Yep, at least geographical address.
Yeah. So address of it's a text field and then an image.
Yep, could be.
Image hash, and we are going to bring the file storage module for this. No, yes, and the widget is an image. That's awesome. Should a description be? No, you said phone numbers. Yeah,
Yep,
good.
phone numbers
Cool.
and
So,
geolocation because he has to attend that.
okay, is the address not enough for the geolocation?
Can be, but they have to Google it again.
So what's the geolocation? What's the form of the geolocation? Is it like a latitude, longitude, coordinates? Okay,
Yes.
cool. Let's actually have this out of scope for now to be able to focus on the flow. But thanks, makes sense. Phone numbers. Well, let's have only one for now for simplicity, or what? Well, we can try this. Phone numbers, it's going to be a vector of strings, which should have text fields. And I think that's it.
Yeah, should be enough.
Name, address, image, phone numbers. No, yes, which grad functions update and delete sound good. You could update information and you could delete one. Should a link from the original entry? Yes. Awesome. It's asking us to scaffold the file storage one, which is going to add file storage to our app, which we are going to do. Bada bing boom boom, magic, bidi bidi boo. Sorry. So this command, like obviously it's difficult to understand, but this command is doing a whole bunch of stitching zones and backend and UI together, and it feels to me it feels magical from the way that I had to do it before. It feels like, oh right, yeah, it's basically saving a lot of time. So this is why it's magic, to me at least. So we are going to do a collection, which is going to go in the clinic's integrity, which is going to be all clinics. And for now, it's going to be really simple. Global, which entry type should be collected, the clinics, cool. And now we are going to just save this clinics, cool. And now we are going to scaffold an entry type of type lab. And a lab is going to go in the lab's integrity, and it's going to have a name, which is a string, text field. What else should the lab have? Yeah, an image as well.
Yeah, almost the same as clinic.
Okay, so field. So address, was it address of string? Yes, yes. Text field, yes. Image, hash, cool. Of entry hash, no, yes. Image. At another field, phone numbers. Phone numbers, which is a vector of strings, yes, with text field. And that's that. Cool. Add another field. No. Confirm. Update, delete. Sounds good. Shoot a link. Yes. Good. Amazing. And now a collection. Scaffold collection for the labs, all labs, global lab, correctly, correct. Well, cool. So let's save this. So labs scaffolded. Cool. Okay, so I think let's do the last piece of scaffolding, I think, which is if we go here, we have the private event sourcing. If we go to medical records client, this is actually a private event sourcing client and the types of things that can happen in this. Zome is a medical records event, which for now we don't have one, so let's fill this afterwards, but this is a medical records event, which should be imported here. Awesome. And then in the medical records store, this is a extends private event sourcing store. And this should be also medical records event. Cool. And this should be super client. What else do you need? Please find it. Okay. Cool. Obviously, now we have a huge amount of code already generated for us. Like if we go to coordinator, we have clinics, labs, medical records. We have all clinics, create clinic, get latest clinic, update clinic, all of that is there. Same for labs, all labs, create lab, get latest lab, delete lab, everything. If we go to the UI, we have for clinics, labs, medical record, we have create clinic, edit clinic, clinic summary, clinic detail, all clinics, all those elements. So let's start by having actually 3 agents. We need 3 agents normally in the app because it's 3 stakeholders. And those 3 agents. Okay, let's just start this. Those 3 agents, first of all, are going to input their profile. That's fine. And then there should be okay, so what's the UI that we can do here? Tabs, and each tab, like 3 tabs, like clinics, labs, and medical records, or should clinics and labs? Okay, so let me fix this and then we can start. So this is the profile prompt and sorry. Okay, so what's the matter here? Medical records context. This should have display contents. Display contents as well. Display contents for, yeah. So all the context elements. Labs. Clinics. Okay, let's see. Post display context. Interesting. This should be good, actually. Do this. Obviously, it's not going to work. Why isn't it working? Oh, maybe I'm missing. It's not being imported. Right. So if I go to Holochain app, I should import. Right. I should import the main clinics elements, clinics context, JS, the labs context, and the medical records context from the labs and from the medical records. Cool, and now somebody enters here and okay, so here is the skeleton that we have. If I'm a patient, I should first of all see my medical records, right?
Yeah. Historically.
Historically. Okay, so if I'm a doctor, what should we add like a create clinic up top here? Or where would the hospitals and private clinics and so on create their own entities? I guess a button here should do for now, no?
Yeah, the clinics should have an administrator that can create doctors.
Right, but somebody needs to create the clinic first, right? There needs to be a screen for that as well.
Correct.
Right, so we are going to do it like that for now. Cool. So in the homepage in the actions, okay, so here we go. We should have a button that says create clinic. Use dispatch event new custom event clinic. Clicked. Here we should have another one, which is create lab. Okay, and now in the home page, we are going to say create clinic, click, create clinic, create lab, create clinic, create lab, create clinic. Oh, it already exists here. So let's see if I say create clinic. Woo! Okay. This is cool. So we have create clinic. Can I create the clinic? Let's see. Here is an image. That's the clinic. Okay, so create clinic. Cool. That was the clinic created. And now let's see. We have create clinic, create lab. What's the flow at first? So if I'm a patient, what should I see the first time I open the app? I should see my medical records.
Oh, the first page is actually my profile only.
Okay.
Then they can see the list of doctors around. They can see also the
Okay, awesome. So I see tabs here in the mobile app that you shared. So in one tab is my profile, in another tab are doctors around, right?
Correct.
Okay, awesome. So let's start with that. Thanks. This is really helpful, Halim. Thanks for that. So let's create some tabs here. Cool. I'm actually going to go to shoelace because it's the library of elements that we use, and I'm going to copy paste the tab group that they have here, which is really awesome. So cool. And now this is like my no, slot nav. Okay, so this is my profile. And my profile, this is actually going to be my profile, which is what's coming my profile from the profiles module. There is an element called my profile, which shows you your profile. Doctors, no, clinics, as we have now. Doctors or clinics, Halim?
Clinics. Then the clinics will see the doctors
Awesome.
inside.
Awesome, awesome. And clinics, this should be all clinics, which is an element that we also need to import. So import from main clinics elements, all clinics already done for us. Cool, cool. Oh, we need to obviously import the shoelace stuff, these components, tab group, tab panel, no, tab, and I think we should place it placement bottom if we are focusing on the mobile UI. Okay, so let's see. This guy has clinics context is not a valid selector. Okay, who is trying to select the clinics context? I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to move this out of the way as well. Okay. Move this back in. Records. Okay. Where is selector? Obviously not. Okay, this is a mistake. That's fine. Cool. Okay, awesome. Now we have the clinic. We have my profile and clinics here. Let's have it like this. Let's move this like this. Okay, so on the left you can see the code, and on the right you can see the actual UI. So let's see, why is this? This is too small. Let's fix that. So SL tab. So if I go to home page, close everything else, SL tab should flex. Cool. What else? SL tab, group, flex, align items center. Actually, no, we don't want align items center. Actually, we don't want any of this. Cool, better. So that group, and now all SL tab panels should flex 1,800%. No, that's not it. SL tab group, that's good. Okay. Flex 1, no. 800%, nope. Ah, yeah, that was it. So the height one, so this should be SL tab group part, and this is CSS part from custom elements specification, 800%. Now, what else? Space. Not enough. Slot body. This should also be 800%. Awesome. So that group body, and then each SL tab should have, and actually we can just do it here. SL tab should have flex 1. Cool. Okay, it's starting to take some shape. SL tab panel should SL tab panel should have some padding. Okay. And then this should have something like what? Text align center. Good. And this is SL tab, so text align center. Okay. Okay, it's starting to have something. Obviously, the clinics, like this is the summary of a clinic, so it's a bit weird right now. So let's see, let's fix that. So if we go to clinic summary, here we just want the image. Let's just have it be a row, right? A row with the image first, and this is an image that's already like uploaded and stored in Holochain. So this is an image, and actually that's too big. It should be like what a height of 100 and a width of 100 as well, and then it's just going to be the name, and it's going to have a column here. That's right, a name, and I guess the address as a placeholder. No. Plus placeholder. Good. Did I do well? Span style flex 1. Span. Okay. Cool. Starting to look a bit better. I don't actually like this span. Cool. And now I think I need to do something like margin minus 16 here. Margin left. What? Left. Minus 20 maybe. Let's see. Yeah, good. Margin top minus 20, margin bottom minus 20. Okay, so this is our clinic. Good. Let's see, the patient comes in, they see a clinic here. They select, should they select the clinic? I guess they should.
Only when they want to make an appointment.
Right. So Okay, so this is actually before taking a test, they need a doctor appointment. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so there's actually a step before the flow that we described. That is an appointment. So it should be my profile, clinics, and then medical history as a tab here as well, right?
Yep.
Cool. And then before having any medical history here, they go into clinics, they select this clinic, and they should have a button, something like ask for an appointment.
Yep.
Cool. So ask for an appointment, and that goes to the doctor, and the doctor confirms the appointment with some information about time and place, and then that appointment shows in the medical record history, which is not really medical record history, it's just an appointment for a new medical record. Cool. So now let's actually go to medical records and so an event that can happen here is request appointment for the clinic. So, and the clinic hash is John hash. I think that's it. What else? A schedule appointment. So a patient, agent pub key. A time and
which doctor?
And which doctor. Awesome. Time is going to be a timestamp. Cool. So that's a scheduled appointment. That's good. After the scheduled appointment, there should be a request take test. No, like how would you call when the doctor notifies the patient that they should take a test?
A test recommendation.
Test recommendation. Awesome. Test recommendation. And this is going to show up in the medical record history as well?
Yes.
Okay.
On the page.
So test recommendation, this is done by the doctor. And the test is going to be a string here. Cool, so test recommendation. And then now request a test appointment. So this is the patient talking to the lab. I need this kind of test and clinic hash. Okay. Schedule test appointment. And here we don't have a doctor because it's the whole lab which is doing the test. Schedule test appointment, then it's schedule. So, and then test done. This is the lab saying test is done. Patient, no, actually request test appointment, schedule test appointment. I think we need to refer to this. Yeah, otherwise request test appointment entry hash. So this refers to this. This also refers to that. Request, schedule test appointment hash. Good, patient. Okay, so test results. The test done hash. These are all done by the lab. And then
passing the test back to the doctor.
exactly. So how do we say that? Let's see. Share test result. Doctor. This is the doctor. Test result. This is going to test result entry hash. Test result hash. Cool. Test results, actually here we should have a file, which is a uint8 array. No, here it's a back of u8. Cool, so these are all the data structures that we need for the whole flow. Okay, so now we have the clinics list and we select one of the clinics and it should bring us, right? So Holochain app, it should bring us to the clinic detail. So homepage and then clinic, what is it? Clinic selected. Clinic summary, yeah, but clinic summary, what happens when I click clinic selected? So on clinic selected, this is a custom event. We should go to, do we have? Yeah, we do have a clinic encode .detail.clinic hash. So when I click on a clinic, it goes to the clinic detail. Awesome. Cool. Now that we see the clinic detail, there should be a button here, right, that says request appointment. Request appointment. And I'm going to say click on this means deeds.medical. Yeah, right. We need actually the medical records. Medical records context, medical records store. Medical records store dot client dot, and now in the client, now we need to do a bit of backend development because here we should have DNA's main zones coordinator, medical records source, appointment, doctor appointment, RS. And actually, I'm going to change this to be request doctor appointment. Schedule doctor appointment, request title, yes. So this should be mod doctor appointment, HTTK extern function, request appointment, and it's only the clinic hash. So clinic hash, action hash, we are not going to return anything here. We are going to use HTTK period, use private event sourcing, everything. And this is just create private event. And this is a medical records event, request doctor appointment, clinic hash. And that's that basically. So request doctor appointment, actually doctor appointment, and schedule doctor appointment, schedule doctor appointment. This should actually be request doctor appointment hash, entry hash, request doctor appointment, patient and time. We can just actually patient, doctor, time. Let's extract this. Schedule doctor appointment. Put. Should we? I don't think so. Sorry. So now here it's derive, serialize, this serialize, debug, extract, schedule, doctor appointment, input, which is all of this, serialize. And now we have an input, which is schedule doctor appointment, schedule doctor appointment. And this is actually just the input, no? Okay. So request appointment hash, which is input requested. Patient, it's input.patient. Doctor, it's input.doctor. Time, it's input.time. Cool. Okay, let's just have this for now. So if I go to medical records client, this should be request doctor appointment for this clinic hash, action hash, turn this dot called Zome, request doctor appointment, clinic hash, schedule doctor appointment, and this was okay. So request doctor appointment. This is an entry hash. What else? Timestamp, that's fine. And then here it's request patient time doctor. Cool. And now I go to, we already have the request appointment. So if you click request appointment, it should do nothing really. It should be like, oh, good, you requested request appointment. Okay, so if you click on this, it's going to request doctor appointment of the code params.clinic hash, right? Which I'm going to say must exist. Okay, let's have it be a little better here. So if not medical record store, return, and now we await this and we notify a appointment requested successfully. Okay, so let's, no, it won't work right now because we need to recompile the app, but now, okay, so we are going to simplify things a little bit, and we're going to say that the UI is the same for everyone. And in the home page, we are going to have another tab, which is medical records. So this is medical records. And we are, do we have any? I guess we can just use that UI, no, source main medical records element, medical records. Good. This is a new medical records element, and we are going to actually consume this one. Subscribe true. Out with all of these. Flex, it's fine. Medical records, and here so here we need the we need to fill the types here actually. So let's go to events and let's copy paste this. Okay, now this is going to be a little bit of work. Okay, or this type schedule. Or let's have it like this for now. This is the only thing that we have up until now. Awesome. And now we have in the medical records. So let's get medical records, this store, private events, cool. And now, okay, give me a switch. This switch is good enough. Okay, and now this is not a lab. This is medical records. Should have this name here anyway. And now it's like render medical records, which is medical records, which is a record of entry hash v64, a signed event of medical records event, render medical records, and now we are going to copy paste. Yep, exactly. So if object.is medical records length is 0, we display this. If not, object dot entries medical records. Medical record. No, we are actually going to this dot render medical record hash medical record, and now render medical record is going to be hash entry hash for medical record is going to be assigned event of medical records event. Assigned event is the data structure that is going to hold all the private entries that we are going to store in Holochain. So just the author, the signature, and the event. Cool. And oh, this is actually a switch. Switch medical records dot event content type. If the type is a request doctor appointment or a schedule, yep. Good. We actually need to fill. Oh no, request doctor appointment, that's fine. Okay, so if I'm the doc, that should be an SL card, or a really mini one, SL card. It plus row, probably a row. Items. Center. And here we should have something like span appointment request. Okay, so we have an appointment request and who. Okay, so who is trying to profile like list items? So who is trying agent pub key? So who is trying to request an appointment? And the agent public key is going to be the author of the event, which we have already. Profile list item. And then we are going to have a button to schedule. So button schedule. Cool. And I guess it's fine to open a dialog here, or no, I guess it's not fine. So click this.dispatch event new custom event schedule doctor appointment. Detail hash. No? Yep. And last thing for this to work should be that the recipients of match self, the recipients of a request doctor appointment should be the author of that clinic. So let's do a get some record of, I know, equals get clinic hash get options, default, else, return error. Clinic not found. And we should return the record.action.author clone. So, okay, vector into iter collect. Okay, so that's for request, doctor appointment. So here, this might be surprising for people who know a little bit of Holochain knowledge, because this is not really how things are done in Holochain land. We need to do it quite differently because our logic is really different. So everything happening here is not stored in the DHT at all. These are private entries that are only stored on the source chains of the agents that we select, right? So this is a much more selective and restricted use of Holochain, which is totally fine. It's just not what we're used to in Holochain world. So the logic is we define the types of events that can happen in our app, which are going to be stored in our source chain privately. We define how to validate them, and this is not validation that is going to happen at the DHT level. This is validation that is going to run privately only by the people who receive the entries. And then for each type of event, we define who should receive it. So who is the recipient of each type of event? Who is going to be the recipient of a request doctor appointment? So from the clinic hash, we get the author of the clinic hash, which is the creator of the clinic hash, and that's who should get this event, right? So this is the logic of this private event sourcing module. Schedule doctor appointment. Okay, so obviously the doctor, obviously the patient, and that's it. Doctor, patient. Cool. And now on the other side, we had edit lab, medical records. Okay, so now request appointment. Like this. Okay, let's have this be a little bit prettier. Primary, style, position, absolute, right, 16, bottom, 16. How does this look? Oh, nice. Nice, nice. And now let's reboot our app to recompile the backend. In Holochain, we have hot reloading of the frontend, but not the backend, because every time the backend is changed, it's actually a new network, so it's not actually possible, at least at this stage, and it might be possible in the future, but it's definitely really tricky. So recompiling the backend. Done. Here we have the UI, and now we are going to create a patient profile. So patient 1. And now this is going to be like this, my avatar. Cool. And now this is going to be doctor 1. It's going to have this icon, which is fine. And the doctor is going to, so if we go to clinics, right now it's clinics not found. If I go to, and let me get this out of the way because we're not interested in that right now. If I create clinic here and I say clinic 1, address 1, have this house as well. No phone numbers for now. Create clinic. Cool. Now this should have perfect a clinic. And now I click here. I request appointment. Okay. This should have worked. I think we saw a notify here. Let me actually. I think we have an issue, which is. We don't have an issue. Where do we have? Aha. 799. Yeah, that's an issue. Request appointment. Appointment requested successfully. Here, I need to go to homepage and import the medical records. Main medical records element, medical records. Okay, think you have some kind of a problem. Medical records. Medical records. Let's see what's happening here. So this dot store private events seems to be because this is not. We copied it over from the context, and the context is not listening for changes. Okay. Woo! So we have the doctor received two doctor appointment requests. Awesome. Let's have them be prettier. Share styles, actually. Okay, good. Now this is a card. Let's make this go all the way. Awesome. And now let's make this gap 16 pixels. Cool. So we are starting to have an interesting app. So on the bottom, we have a doctor. On the upper, we have the patient. So if the doctor goes to medical records, he finds two appointment requests that the patient has created. And I'll click on schedule. Right now, nothing happens. So let's do that part. So I go over to Holochain app, and then yep. So what is it? Schedule doctor appointment clicked. So schedule doctor appointment click. This is a custom event. So this dot router dot go to. So schedule doctor appointment. Cool. And I think we should also e.detail.hash. No, I think this is better. Yeah. Cool. And now we are going to create another one, which is schedule doctor appointment. Appointment, and this should be close. And now this should be so we have the patient, right? Let's just actually create a new element for this. So I'm going to go to medical records and save it again. Main medical records elements and schedule doctor appointment TS. So this should be schedule doctor appointment, schedule doctor appointment. Good. Yes. And now this should just be schedule doctor appointment. The code params hash, right? Because this is actually hash params hash, which should exist. Okay, and now here we should have a property, which is a hash, which is entry hash, actually, which has to be there. Cool. And now render form. Yeah. With the request appointment. Oh no, but the request appointment is just the author. So this is the patient agent path key. And this should be a form. Medical record status, that's good. And now we have to say event medical records dot value, this dot hash, the code. It's encode, not decode. Encode hash. Then this is render form, and actually it's event.author, and that's that. And here we need what do we need actually? So request appointment hash, that's good. The time and the doctor basically. So we need select user. Do we need select user? I guess we don't, because it's already the doctor, so that's fine. So let's have it just be the timestamp. Cool. Okay, so do we have T-NESH? I think we have a cell datetime input. Awesome. SL datetime input name time. This should be on submit fields dot, this should be required, this dot schedule appointment fields, and we should have here a button, SL button, schedule appointment of type submit and variant primary. And now schedule appointment patient agent public key fields, which are the timestamp, actually timestamp number, and this should be try await this dot store dot client schedule doctor appointment, which is the this dot hash. The patient is the patient. The time is timestamp times 1000, because it's Holochain, it's in microseconds. And now this is the doctor is us, because for now the one that created the clinic is the doctor. Notify error, failed to schedule doctor appointment. Good. Schedule appointment. Patient. Okay, and now we do need to import this. So medical records, and this is schedule doctor appointment. So let's see if I go to medical records here, schedule. No, that did not work. We don't have any issues here. Schedule doctor appointment clicked. Schedule. Clicked. So if I go here and I schedule, no. Now we have a problem. Okay, that's fine. This hash is string, right? And it shouldn't be a string. Actually, it should just be the code. We are always playing with between the hash and string representation. So hash is good. And now we have a scheduled doctor appointment. And if I go here, I should just import the T-NESH stack elements, list elements, SL data input. Good. So this is the label. We need some label. Awesome. Tile flex 1. No, not yet. Aha. No, SL card. SL. Aha. Where is the schedule? Aquí estás. Style flex 1. Awesome. Cool. So let's schedule for tomorrow. Ooh. Yeah. For tomorrow. Okay. At this time. Schedule. Failed to schedule doctor appointment. What happened? Okay. For this time. Okay. Right. Yeah, this widget only on Linux it's failing a bit. Okay. What's happening here? So let's just make sure medical records client, schedule doctor appointment. Patient time, doctor. Patient time, doctor. Request doctor appointment, hash. Patient time, doctor, schedule doctor appointment. This all looks good. Let's debug what's happening. Here, this.hash. Patient timestamp. What is the timestamp here? Yes. Nico, the timestamp is a weird date. New date. This is actually string. new date value of fills time. Cool. So now we have scheduled our appointment. This dispatch event, new custom event appointment scheduled through, and now in our app, when we receive that an appointment scheduled, then we just go home. Okay. But now that we have scheduled our appointment, we should have the other. Let's see how are we doing on time. Okay, we have 50 minutes left. So let's have 5 minutes more to have the patient receive the scheduled appointment put, and then we publish the app.
All right.
Okay, so if I go to medical records, cool. I should only see the button to schedule if the medical record is for me. So medical record.author encode hash. If I'm the one that created it, nothing should be displayed, or rather something like a SL tag. Tag, something like waiting for scheduling. Let's see, waiting for scheduling, and here it's schedule. Amazing. And now we have received the scheduled doctor appointment, and let's just make sure that that's the case. Awesome. This is the scheduled doctor appointment that we have received. So actually, if we have received as a doctor appointment, okay, let's do this first then. Okay, so basically the same structure here. So card, appointment scheduled, and the doctor is the doctor. Okay, what's happening here? I think I messed up. So we have a column. Put. Okay, the doctor is Doctor 1. Yes. We agreed to that. Got 8px. Appointment schedule. But that's if I'm the patient. If is store client my public key equals medical record dot event content patient, then we return this. Else, this comparison, encode. Else, we are the doctor. So we have to see patient. So if I go here as the patient, I see appointment scheduled doctor. If I go here, I see appointment scheduled patient. Awesome. And now let's actually add the time, because otherwise this thing is pretty useless. So SL format time date is medical record dot event dot content dot time divided by 1,000 because of the timestamp thing. And this is going to be coming from shoelace format. It's format date, format time, format date, format date. Let's see. Okay, yeah, but we need a little better. Yeah, let's try this. 11 p.m. So shoelace is just so awesome. Cool. So now we have a appointment schedule for this date for this doctor. Awesome. And now the patient has appointment schedule for this patient. Now let's see. Do I have? Yeah, I have 10 minutes. I have just a little bit more time to filter actually. And if we have an appointment schedule, then the appointment request shouldn't actually display at all. So medical records. So let's have this be this dot medical records. And now this is private events. If private events dot status doesn't equal completed, then return private events. And we should return status completed value appointment requests scheduled appointments and appointment request appointment requests. It's going to be a record of entry, no, signed event of appointment request, medical records event, and this is going to be scheduled appointments. And now we are going to save for event hash event of object of entries private events value if event dot event content type equals request doctor appointment, then we just have it be and actually we need to sort them. Sort E1, E2, and it should be 1, event timestamp. No, E1, Okay, appointment, event hash equals event. Good, and now exactly the same for the schedule appointments. But we also, if appointment requests event content request appointment hash, which we should encode, then we delete appointment requests. Cool. And now we have this as const, right? Yes. Good value, appointment request, medical records value, schedule appointments. Good. Because now this is appointment requests, and this is a scheduled appointments. So this is okay, yeah. Appointment request plus the schedule appointments. Okay, cool. And now this should be like appointment requests, and now this should be scheduled appointments. So now if I go here, oh, okay. So this obviously didn't work because I didn't say delete. Ah, okay. So now the appointments that already have the appointment requests that already have a scheduled appointment don't appear. Cool. So I'm going to say done, and let's try to package it and publish it to the App Store so that everyone can download it and we play around with it a little bit. Let's see.
All right, and the App Store is at Darksoil. I'll share the link.
Cool.
It's demo launcher, right? That's
It's
the one.
demo launcher. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Okay, so here's the link. So while that's published, we'll see. It's first off, I just want to thank Halim for bringing this to us for today to play with. It's been really cool to get to explore this space. And yeah, it's been really nice and thanks Gregory and people watching and to be able to, yeah, just explore. I think this is the start of an app that's going to be really, really compelling. I think, well, let's see how long it takes to package. It will be really, if anybody wants to, oh, I didn't send that to everyone. So here's the link for the demo launcher. And the demo launcher is a standalone app where we can publish our apps that we build. Let's see. Gets it published.
So this should be like just medical records. We don't have a good image, do we? What image should this have? Oh, I don't have a good image.
Here's
Just the house one again.
here, I'll send you. I was playing with images before, but I didn't send, so let's see.
Okay.
In yours, I'll send it to you on Signal. Shoop.
Cool.
There are some images. These are Creative Commons. Should be. Oh, no. Yes. Oh,
Okay.
only
see
one of them
it.
is.
Okay, which one?
I guess only one of them showed up. Okay. The doctor thing maybe for
Okay.
now. Okay. Did you see it?
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Medical records. So what's the description? Requests. So for now it's request appointment, but should be peer-to-peer app to own your own health data. Like that's more like the tagline here, right?
Yep.
Create hub. Awesome. Now we have the hub. We have to create a new release, and the version it's going to be just 0.0.1, which is the first release of the hub, which has already been
Alright.
packaged. Oh, what's that?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I'm really curious on if you have Halim, do you have any reflections on today while Guillem is doing this?
Yeah, I've seen very, very versatile and powerful tools that never seen before. It's amazing and very good, very high level skills that Guillem showing to me. So I think it's a very good experience for me today. So I hope everyone does. So thanks, Guillem. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, that's so great. Even though it's not completed, but I think that shows us a lot of features, a lot of experience. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you, Halim. Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean that's the kind of the thing we're playing with is like how far can we get? So it's really cool to see how many features we do get and where we have to cut it off. I know, Guillem, it's really hard. Like, whoa, there's a little bit of time. Maybe there's one more feature I can push in there. You know,
Yeah.
it's which is
Yeah.
really, of course. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really fun to see. And I see the app on my demo launcher. I don't know if you guys have
Okay.
been able to download that, Halim and Eric and Gregory. But that's
Downloading it now.
yeah, it works for me to upload. I can create my avatar. I should be able to create clinic.
Okay, so Victor, you're going to be the doctor here, no?
I'll be a doctor.
Cool. App installed successfully, and I'm going to open it now, and it opened correctly. So I'm going to be a patient, and I'm going to request an appointment for your clinic, Victor. So
Great.
let's see. Create profile. Awesome. I don't see any clinic. Tell me when you're done.
See, I have just put in a clinic. Let's see.
Okay. Hey, yeah, it just without me reloading or anything, it just showed up. So click on that. Awesome. Victor's Clinic. Yeah, I trust Victor's Clinic. Phone number seems totally
Oh.
legit. Totally. So I'll request an appointment. Appointment requested successfully. I have it here.
Uh-huh. Oh, I see a schedule. I see an appointment request. I'll try to schedule something. Okay. And time for 3:30 p.m.
Please
Okay.
pick a good time.
Yeah, I'm trying for the picker. Oh, there we go.
Awesome!
It's a
Awesome! I have
3:01.
a scheduled appointment.
Great.
Great. Yeah,
Yay!
awesome. So next would be to get the technician's results. It's
Yeah,
another story.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks. Thanks a
Thank
lot. Are
you.
there any questions from anyone else that we want to just get in before we wrap it up completely?
I'm just curious about the private message, but that's another topics. That's
Okay.
really
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we'll, as we said a little bit before the call, but we will have another session soon where we are just an open session where we get to explore questions around Holochain development and our relationship to that and what people can expect and do with the stuff that we have and just yeah how it works in general. So look out for that. We'll put it on our calendar and we can have more open conversations. Yeah, just a lot of thank yous today for thanks Guillem and thanks Halim for coming and thanks Gregory and Eric and
Yeah, and again, if you want to get in touch with MedicTrek around their project, please reach out to them. Wherever this is being shared, the link will be below. And if you want to learn more about the suite of tools that Guillem is using to build an app rapidly, you can reach out to Darksoil, or if you want to learn to develop Holochain apps, you can reach out to Darksoil, darksoil.studio. And we want to just thank you so much for watching. Thank you again, Halim, for bringing this project here, and we're excited. We're excited for more.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, thanks everyone. This was so fun.
Okay, cool. Bye, everyone.